if I didn't know that Jamin wasn't with God, in the arms of the Savior, Jesus Christ, if I didn't know that, then there's no way I could go on right now.
We're taking a look at the 38-year-old brother of Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe. It is a blessing to see him here tonight, competing in the honor of his brother against one of their greatest rivals and friends, Jay Lethal.
I don't know what I was looking for. Maybe something to ease my mind. Someone nice to tangle with and pass the time.
Jake Triller!
Found me on the highways and long dark country roads. You said, honey, I can be the arms you come running to. You best believe I'll be there for you.
We love you, Jay Briscoe.
I love you, brother. I love you. I love you so much. I love all y'all, man. Read this. Lives are gonna be changed and souls are gonna be saved. You understand? But I know one thing, when I do stand there face to face with him again, there's gonna be a rack of souls. There's gonna be thousands, tens of thousands, whatever it may be, that are gonna be up there on the other side of the pearly gates right there with us because of what has happened this past week. Jamin did not die in vain. He did not live in vain. And God has a plan. God has a purpose. Jesus is open for everyone. Jesus is available to everyone. Everyone. You ain't got to change your life and come to Jesus. Come to Jesus, and if he wants to, he'll change your life. Jesus is available for every one of us. No matter what line of life, what walk of life we walk. This is a drop in the ocean. Vapor in the wind, man. That's what this life is. Jamin knew that. That's the only reason that I can continue on. That's the only reason that I can carry on. Because I know this ain't in vain. I know this ain't for nothing. And, man, thank y'all. Thank God. Thank you, Jamin. And I love y'all. Every one of y'all.
In Los Angeles, I was 100% certain that I would beat Cowboy, Hangman, Adam Page. And I was absolutely certain that I would do it decisively. And that didn't happen. You might be wondering why my voice sounds a little raspy, more than normal. Not just years of whiskey and cigarettes. I got clotheslined right in the throat by Hangman Page, and he hits really, really hard, much like I do.
I understand the nature of wrestling, right? And our first match, he put me to sleep, right? But then he wanted to make a joke about it. So I told him to his face I would knock him out cold if I had to beat him, and I did. And if he has something else to say about that, he can say that to my face, and I'd gladly do it again.
And since neither of us are people to shy away from the action, he hits really hard, I hit really hard, we're gonna be in each other's faces. I don't expect this now third match in Dayton to be any different. Somebody's gonna go down.
And the more that I try to look forward, I can't help but see back to Ohio, where this kind of started with me and John. And I know that right now, me and John, we're 1-1.
In 3 years, this is the first time that I feel like I got beat. Like I went to the ring with full intention of winning a match, imposed my will on my opponent, and I lost. I didn't get the job done. I made it a shootout. And he had the quicker draw. Clotheslined me right in the throat, about broke my trachea. Hard to breathe for a couple days, and I was out. Woke up with the referee in my face.
Man, Mox really took a shot there. Doctor's in the ring here. Mox is
telling me that I lost. I don't remember it at all.
How's he actually feeling?
I mean, honestly, John's essentially been hurt one way or another for the past 10 years that I've known him, but he'll dust himself back off again.
I didn't wake up in the hospital, I woke up in the ring, but still. There's nobody in AEW in 3 years that has put me out like that. And I don't like it, man. I don't like it one bit. When I look at this, I have 1,000 more ways to win than Hangman Page does. He's gonna try to be quick on the draw and beat me to the punch again. I got 1,000 other ways that I could beat him. I have so many more weapons. I have so many more strategies. I have so many more game plans. I have so much more that I can do to him.
So what's next for me? The next thing that I'd like to try to do would be the impossible. And that's to knock out Jon Moxley in Ohio.
You always end up back home. This place, this is what made me. This is where I come from, who I am. And I live right around the corner here. I live right in the city because, a lot of athletes, they get traded to a team or something. They might, show up to be a part of the community when the cameras are around. But, they live an hour and a half outside the city in the suburbs. Gated community, that's not me at all. I'm not a suburb guy. I want to be right here. All these streets I go running at night when I'm training. I run through, I know all the people, they're sitting on the sidewalk. They know I live right here with them. So, I'm just another guy in the neighborhood. You know why I pretty much never lose? Why I win all the time? Why I choke people out and dump them on their heads all the time? Because I freaking hate losing. I absolutely hate losing. And when I lose, it pisses me off. When I lose, it makes me come back stronger. It makes me come back more prepared. It makes me come back more sadistic. In Dayton, I'm going to show the world the difference between a guy who can score a lucky shot and the best wrestler in the world. I'm going to show the world the difference between Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. There is big, big difference.
Little dead boy, little dead boy.
no way he hits it. Off and drop. 1, 2.
Whatever have you done?
Samoa Joe, I'm not an idiot. I knew when I took this from you in Seattle that you'd want it back, and I know you'd stop at nothing to have it back. Well, I'm gonna make things fair.
Think of the title defenses in a row. Wins against Mike Bennett, Juice Robinson, Kushida, and now Buddy Matthews. 4 in a row coming on the heels of back in Seattle defeating Samoa Joe.
Little dead boy, whatever have you done? You know, it's said in the kingdoms of old, crimes of theft were punished by having your hand cut off. But in my kingdom, Darby, in the kingdom of the one true king of television, I'm coming to take everything from you. I understand that gold you wear around your shoulder, what you stole from me, you feel is yours. It feels comfortable, it feels right. Well, know this, I am coming to take back what's mine. The king will not be usurped by a man like you. And Darby, you will learn that winning that championship was the greatest mistake of your career. The king has spoken.
You beat me in Texas, and you granted me my rematch in Seattle. And I'm gonna grant you a rematch in Ohio. But if you get this rematch, Samoa Joe, I want it under one condition. No holds barred. Because you always say Joe's gonna kill you. And Joe, when it's no holds barred, it's just you and me out there. I'm gonna have Sting stay home. I don't want anyone protecting me. Because I want you to bring what you got. I want you to hit me with your best shot. Samoa Joe, this thing between us, Dynamite, it ends. For good. If I walk out winner, you get no rematch. If you walk out winner, I get no rematch. I want this to be the final chapter with Samoa Joe and Darby Allin.
When the baddies first started out, I thought it was a group of 3 powerful women showing everybody what women empowerment really meant. At least, that's what I thought. But slowly but surely, it just became the Jade Show.
Honestly, ever since I kicked Red Velvet out, I haven't thought about her twice. For all I care, she was just a prop to sit there, look good, because it is my show. I've never lied about that from day one. Yes, the baddies is all about women empowerment and having confidence, but that doesn't stop my show.
Sitting at home with an injury, it gave me clarity. It gave me an outside view to see what the baddies really had become. So when I got back, I knew exactly what I had to do, and that was take a stand. According to Jade, there's nobody in her world. It's just Jade, Jade, Jade. Honestly, she can sit here and she can brag about how she kicked me out of the baddies. Nobody kicked me out. I stepped on my own. I chose my own path.
One thing I will give Red Velvet is she has heart. She's courageous. She goes out there and she puts up a fight. But what does that matter to a powerhouse like Jade Cargill? Nothing at all.
When people do a lot of talking, they're scared. And the insecurity's showing, baby girl.
I show up, I show out, I take names, and it sounds like to me she's gonna be nothing but a number 50.
On Dynamite, I'm gonna be the new TBS champion, and you are gonna be 49-1.
Red Velvet, I'ma show you why I am that bitch.
He's going over the shoulder breaker. Nothing fancy about that. Cage.
A German suplex, and Danielson once again coming down on that shoulder.
Yeah, that's just instinct kicking out right there. A lot of heart and toughness.
Last week, MJF talked about the monster behind the mask and that we were gonna see it. And last week on Dynamite, we saw it. And the monster behind the mask ends up being somebody else.
Oh, Cage! Yeah, he's going for that bounty right now.
That could have done it. That may have done it right there.
It was Brian Cage. It was him paying somebody to do his work for him, because the real monster, what really creates monsters, things like greed, shame, fear, I think that MJF has a lot of all 3 of those.
MJF directed traffic. He wants the body and shoulder and arm of Danielson.
He has a lot of shame because he's the AEW World Champion and he knows he doesn't deserve it.
No, Cage, don't do this.
He has fear because he knows that he can't last an hour with me, so he'll pay anybody he can to stop that from happening.
Yeah, showing that viciousness that MJF talked about last week, and I validated it because he's a vicious champion, he is.
And just raining down right hands on Bryan Danielson.
And the greed, I've said it before, he's already got a lot of money. What does he want more? No, I have a different theory. He's craving social acceptance. Despite the fact that he'll tell all of you that he doesn't care, I saw him Before this whole thing started, before he did what he did to my mental, I was watching every single thing that he did. And every time he would go out there and talk, or every time he would go out there and wrestle, which wasn't very often, he would come back and he'd immediately look at his phone. And he's scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling because he cares so much what every single one of you thinks.
How's that wing of yours doing, bud? It's hanging on by a thread. But no, you're gonna keep on going, right? You're gonna keep on marching towards March 5th at Revolution, that 1-hour Iron Man match, because you're so brave, you're a valiant warrior, you're a hero.
Dr. Sampson told me that I have a dislocated shoulder. Ain't nobody stopping me from wrestling! Max, you think there's some monster behind the mask? Do you know what I think is behind the mask? Fear. Because you're afraid of getting hurt, you're afraid of being exposed, and you're afraid that I'm gonna take the one thing that you value more than anything in this world, and that's that AEW Championship!
I know you're obsessed. Just like I'm obsessed with the Triple B, the AEW World Championship. See, this belt gives me a reason to get out of bed in the morning, because this belt stands for the simple fact that all my blood, sweat, hard work, tears, and yes, my sins, they were all worth it. I'm gonna show the whole world that what's behind that mask is a fraud. And the person who will be and should be the AEW World Champion is Bryan Danielson. You are not stopping me from wrestling ever again. I am not afraid to pain. I meditate in pain. Because if there's one thing that's true in this life, it's this. Life is suffering, and you better be prepared to know how to suffer. Max, you can't suffer nearly as well as I do. This belt turns my catchphrase into a fact. This belt does make me better than you, and you know it. This belt is the only thing in my life I've ever had that makes me feel whole. And you want to take that away from me, Bryan? Why? Don't you have enough, man? Loving family, adoring fan base, first ballot Hall of Fame career, but no, you need to take away from Max. See, I know the real reason why, Bryan. It's because just like me, you got a hole in your soul and you're trying to fill it.
Now this week on Dynamite, I have the absolute privilege of wrestling a man I respect very much. His name is Timothy Thatcher. He's the exact opposite of MJF. He has earned everything that he's got. He doesn't have any social media. You don't hear him blab in his mouth about being this or being that. He goes out there and he does the work. And Timothy Thatcher, to me, is one of the single best wrestlers on this planet. And Tim, I know that you're a brutal, sadistic man. I have no doubt that you're gonna go after my arm. But I look forward to it because part of the suffering is joy. And if I can beat Timothy Thatcher with this shoulder, I have no problem with MJF.
Bad things happen to people that mess with MJF in this company. Tonight was just the tip of the iceberg, and if you keep threatening to take away the one thing in this world that brings me happiness, you're gonna find out that tonight, that was only physical pain. Physical pain is fleeting. You don't want me to get to the mental pain, Bryan.